Welcome back to Exciting Europe.
Join us as we discover San Zaccaria, one of Venice's most ancient churches, dating back to the 9th century, the same era as the Basilica of St. Mark. This stunning church, dedicated to Zacharias, the father of St. John the Baptist, is a feast for the eyes, with paintings covering virtually every surface. Inside, you'll encounter masterpieces like Bellini's Madonna Enthroned, Tintoretto's Birth of St. John the Baptist, and the breathtaking Capella d'Oro, home to gorgeous polyptychs in extraordinarily ornate gilded Gothic frames.
Situated on Campo San Zaccaria in the Castello district of Venice, San Zaccaria is conveniently located just a 5-minute walk from St. Mark's Square and Doge's Palace. The church is open daily, including Sundays, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Admission to the church is free. However, there is a small entrance fee of a few euros to access the museum.
The captivating Façade, a testament to the evolving artistic styles of its time, presents a fascinating study in architectural transition. Its construction began in 1458 under the direction of Antonio Gambello, a master builder whose name history has perhaps not lauded enough. By the time of his passing in 1481, Gambello had realized only the lower level flanking the main entrance. This foundational story showcases his eye for detail, featuring elegant rectangular panels of contrasting red and gray marble. Within these panels, veined gray marble is meticulously inlaid, adorned with delicate carvings of playful cupids and graceful garlands that encircle serene roundels depicting prophets. The vision for the magnificent upper levels, crafted in gleaming Istrian stone, came to fruition through the genius of Mauro Caduci. His design introduced a striking contrast with its sophisticated blind arcading, a rhythmic sequence embellished with the subtle elegance of scallop shells. This section is further articulated by refined pilasters and slender columns that frame gracefully proportioned windows, creating a harmonious ascent. The façade culminates in a classical lunette, proudly displaying a statue of the Redeemer. This central figure is reverently attended by angels, each bearing the poignant instruments of the Passion, adding a layer of profound symbolism to the church's exterior. The main doorway itself is a work of art, framed by delicately carved pilasters that speak to the craftsmanship of the era. Above, set within a lunette of warm yellow marble, rests a precious porphyry disc, a detail hinting at the treasures held within. Crowning the doorway is a distinguished marble statue of Saint Zacharias, the church's patron saint, sculpted by Alessandro Vittoria. It is a poignant detail that Vittoria himself now rests within the sacred confines of this very church, a final tribute to his artistic legacy and devotion.
Beyond its elegant structure, the interior of San Zaccaria is a breathtaking canvas, with virtually every surface adorned with significant paintings. The high aisled nave is defined by columns resting on finely raised bases, each crowned with beautifully detailed capitals. A unique feature in Venice is the multiple apse, complete with an ambulatory and a coronet of chapels. The sheer abundance of artwork, the layers of history expressed through paint, truly defines the atmosphere within these walls, creating an immersive visual experience for visitors.
Our gaze is immediately drawn to the left wall, where a masterpiece by Giovanni Bellini awaits, the exquisite Madonna Enthroned and Four Saints. Signed and dated 1505, this altarpiece stands as one of the artist's most celebrated creations. It represents the culmination of a series of similar themed works Bellini crafted for Venetian churches. These include the triptych, still housed in the Frari, which we explored in detail in our video about Santa Maria Gloriosa dei Frari, and the renowned San Giobbe altarpiece, now a highlight of the Accademia galleries in Venice. The painting's architectural backdrop, while rooted in classical design, uniquely incorporates an apse mosaic, subtly echoing the interior splendor of St. Mark's Basilica. The monumental figures of St. Peter, St. Catherine, St. Lucy, and St. Jerome are bathed in an extraordinary aura of serenity, while at the foot of the Virgin's throne, an angel gently plays a melodic tune. Despite its tumultuous history, including its removal to the Louvre by Napoleon and subsequent transfer from its original panels to canvas, this remarkable work has survived in exceptional condition.
Continuing our exploration of the left wall, we encounter a collection of 17th century paintings, including noteworthy pieces by aliens. Flanking Bellini's magnificent Madonna Enthroned are two scenes depicting episodes from the life of the Virgin. Moving slightly further to the right, positioned above the entrance to the sacristy, hangs Antonio Zanchi's evocative painting. Created in 1684, it vividly portrays a ceremony that took place within this very church in 1628, offering a fascinating glimpse into its historical life. At the far end of the aisle, mounted with prominence on the wall, stands the impressive monument dedicated to Alessandro Vittoria. This memorial features a self-portrait bust in the classical style, crafted by the artist himself in 1595, and is gracefully supported by a pair of female figures serving as columns. As we noted earlier, Alessandro Vittoria, whose artistic contributions grace both the interior and exterior of this church, including the sculpted statue of the patron saint, Saint Zacharias on the façade, and the carved statuettes of the Baptist and Saint Zacharias adorning the holy water stoops, is interred in the sanctuary floor. Interestingly, the house where this celebrated sculptor spent his final days is located just a short stroll from this very spot, further connecting his life and legacy to San Zaccaria.
Turning our attention to the south aisle, the wall opposite the one we just explored, we find ourselves surrounded by a vibrant collection of paintings spanning the 17th and 18th centuries. Among these is a notable work by Niccola Bambini, an exquisite adoration of the Magi believed to date around 1717. Bambini, whose career flourished in Venice during this period, was known for his prolific output and his ability to synthesize various artistic influences into his own elegant style. Interestingly, while he enjoyed considerable success in his time, his reputation has somewhat receded in later art historical narratives, making this adoration a valuable opportunity to appreciate his mastery firsthand. Hanging nearby is Antonio Balestra's compelling Adoration of the Shepherds, created a few years prior to Bambini's work. Balestra, a Veronese painter who spent significant periods working in Venice, was highly regarded for his draftsmanship and his capacity to infuse his religious scenes with a sense of dynamic movement and emotional depth. His artistic journey took him beyond Venice, even leading him to teach painting in Verona, highlighting his influence on the broader artistic landscape of the era. This adoration exemplifies his skilled handling of light and shadow, and his ability to create a tender yet powerful depiction of the nativity scene. Further along this aisle, the second altar comes into view. This significant altar, believed to be the work of Alessandro Vittoria, houses the revered body of Saint Zacharias. Above it, the altarpiece depicting Saint Zacharias in glory is a creation of Palma Giovanni from 1599. Palma Giovanni, the great nephew of Palma il Vecchio and a prominent figure in Venetian painting in his own right, demonstrates his characteristic energy and dramatic flair in this depiction of the church's patron saint.
Stepping out of the main nave and into the museum, we find ourselves in the chapel of St. Athanasius. While the setting here is perhaps understated, it houses a compelling collection of paintings, the undisputed masterpiece being Tintoretto's vibrant Birth of St. John the Baptist. Painted in the late 1550s with a beautiful palette of muted tones, this work is believed to have originally graced the high altar of the older church. Tintoretto masterfully captures a scene of domestic activity, with graceful handmaidens diligently attending to the newborn Baptist and his mother, Saint Elizabeth. Our eye is drawn to the foreground by a detail of everyday life, a bird delicately drinking from a prominent copper bowl. Above this earthly scene, a celestial glory of angels commands attention, their presence captivating the gaze of the Baptist's father, Zacharias. To the right of Tintoretto's masterpiece hangs Gian Domenico Tiepolo's depiction of the flight into Egypt. Above the entrance door, a small yet significant crucifixion is attributed to the renowned Anthony van Dyck. It's fascinating to recall that Van Dyck spent time in Venice in 1624, a period during which he was profoundly influenced by the rich colors and dynamic compositions of Titian, a connection that might offer a deeper appreciation for the nuances of this attributed work. Descending from the next chapel via a narrow staircase, we arrive at the 10th century crypt. This atmospheric space is divided into 3 aisles by a series of low, sturdy columns, whispering tales of centuries past. A raised brick pavement guides our steps through this ancient undercroft. What makes this crypt particularly remarkable and somewhat unique in Venice is the captivating, albeit unusual, sight it presents when waterlogged. In an astonishing turn, this is reputedly the only interior space within the city that regularly experiences flooding, offering a tangible connection to Venice's intimate relationship with the surrounding waters.
Finally, we arrive at the Capella d'Oro, the Golden Chapel, also revered as the Chapel of St. Athanasius, which marks the original sanctuary of the early church that once stood on this very ground, a space steeped in centuries of devotion. Adorning the side walls are exquisite altarpieces, the Polyptych of Saint Sabina and the Corpus Christi Polyptych, both masterpieces bearing the signatures of Antonio Vivarini and his brother-in-law Giovanni d'Alemagna from 1443. These works are particularly striking for their extraordinarily ornate gilded Gothic frames, showcasing the prevalent artistic sensibilities of their time. The elaborate polyptych gracing the main altar features a tender depiction of the Madonna and Child, accompanied by 2 saints, an artwork signed in 1385 by a certain Stefano from the parish of Sant'Agnese, offering a glimpse into earlier artistic traditions. Interestingly, the saints positioned at the ends of the lower tier, St. Mark and St. Elizabeth, are once again attributed to the collaborative talents of Antonio Vivarini and Giovanni d'Alemagna. All 3 polyptychs are quintessential examples of the florid late Gothic style, embraced by these painters from Murano, a style that stood in stark contrast to the burgeoning Renaissance art that had already begun to emerge just the year before. This stylistic juxtaposition is evident in the 15th century frescoes found within the fan vault of the apse, the chancel of the preceding church. These frescoes bear the signatures and date of August 1442, identifying them as the earliest known works of the renowned Florentine painter Andrea del Castagno, working alongside the otherwise little-known Francesco da Faenza. Adding to the chapel's rich artistic tapestry are 2 15th century wooden statues representing Saint Benedict and Saint Zacharias.
Thank you for joining us on this fascinating exploration of San Zaccaria in Venice. We hope you enjoyed discovering its rich history and incredible art. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Exciting Europe for more journeys through Europe's most captivating destinations. Don't forget to check out our other videos exploring the wonders of Venice. See you in our next adventure.